Now, aren't you just excited that Sasol moved from STEM to STEAM? That A is pretty important because otherwise we wouldn't have had the opportunity to engage the profound insights of Kutala, who is at the helm of one of Mzansi's biggest creative agencies. Inspired? I hope you are, because the creative and technical worlds are waiting for all of your great ideas. Now, before we proceed, I do want to let you know that we have a special segment today where I will be engaging some of your thoughts and reflections over the last 4 days. So, any cool things that come to mind for you, take them to the chat and the question section right now, because literally in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be standing on stage and reading out some of your comments and sharing some of my insights onto what you have to say. But before we do that, earlier we told you about the soapbox. Remember that? We have someone who sent us a 9-minute long video, and it would be absolutely remiss of us not to play it. Watch this.
My name is Sipiwe, and I'd like to think of Techno X as a great exhibition for young people on learning science and mathematics. I think Techno X has inspired me in many ways. My career, which I want to do, is to be an astronaut, and Techno X has taught me many things about astronauts over the years. They've taught me they've taught me maths and also science and some astronomy. They taught me what I need to do and what I need to be as an astronaut and the types of requirements that I need to have. My Techno X journey has been long. I've been going to Techno X from a very long time. And over the years, with all the time that I've been going there, I've been learning different types of things in Techno X. I think Techno X is a good I think Techno X is a good exhibition, and it teaches young people on different careers that they may pursue. That is all I have to say about Techno X. Thank you.
Okay, hi, my name is Mercy. I'm a grade 12 learner at a school, Ekangala Comprehensive High School. But today I am home right now. I was at school, but I'm home right now because they are launching the school, so I couldn't do this video at school. So what do I think of Techno X and how it inspired me? I'll be answering this question at the same time. My journey with Sasol and Techno X started when I was in grade 9. Back in 2017, 2018, somewhere there. We went to the event of Techno X. It was wonderful. It was amazing. And it had a perfect timing. It was between the time where we had to choose our subject at school. As you know, we choose subjects in grade 9. And then in grade 10, that's where you start doing the subjects which you want to do, which are going to help you with your career. So I was confused. I don't want to lie. I was a confused teenager back then. And my family couldn't quite help because it's only doctors in my family and police. So most of them don't know much about other areas, So me going there really changed. There was a lot of things happening there, from people cooking, and then there were people walking on stage wearing some robotic clothes, and then there was so much experience. We saw how different things can be done. What is computer science, chemical engineering, medical technology, everything that has to do with STEM things, like it was all there. So that helped me, and I think TechnoX is amazing because it really plays a bigger role of helping teenagers trying to see where their abilities and what career path to take, because it's not always easy googling things and trying to choose between which is your career, what's best for you. But going to TechnoX and actually being at the event is amazing because everything is being brought into practical, and you are able to interact with other people and talk to them, and they can let you know what are the advantages and disadvantages of everything for myself that day, I really learned a lot. It had inspired me into going into the Faculty of Computer Science as well as medical technology, which is one of the things I applied for this year. I just hope they take me in university and then I can start my journey next year. So yeah, Techno X is really helpful. It helps to bring practical theoretical things into practical, and it gives you more information on the type of career you want, and it's inspirational because it's basically a shortcut. It gives you a shortcut to see how you are, your abilities in different areas, and you can also know your weaknesses and your strengths in it. So that event really, really changed my life because I was able to choose my subject, and then I'm able even now to know which career path to take. Because I have a few friends which I know that they took a gap year because they're trying to see that what subjects or what career should they go for. So they didn't apply to university because they didn't know what to choose. And because of money issues as well, they didn't want to waste their family's money by going and doing a course which they know they do not really love. So they took a gap year. But for me, I was actually quite lucky to be chosen by the Sasol Techno X event back then because it really changed my life a lot, like a lot. And then lastly, what is your Techno X journey? Like I said, my Techno X journey is I have decided to go into the computer science and medical technology faculty. The reason I want to go into computer science is because computer is a very, very it has a lot of advantages, but it's also tricky at the same time. As people, we tend to use devices a lot. So, and not many people know the disadvantages of it. Because I've had a history in my family of hacking. So, someone got hacked on their computer via the webcam. So, the person is being stalked for a long time. So as a person going to computer science, I want to be able to also make it easier for people, to know when certain things are happening on your computer, and also to help protect people to be able to hide themselves from hackers so that hackers are not able to go into their private things because we keep most of our private life in the computer and it's not right that someone should invade your privacy. And as for medical technology, Techno X, I'd really like to thank you for that one. At first, I wanted to go for chemical engineering, but then, the going is tough at chemical engineering. The going is very, very tough. So I was like, yeah, it's my passion. I know I like it, but then I also have to be realistic, you know. As much as I'm doing maths and science, it does not mean that I am the super 100%. No, no, no. But then I am a 70 and an 80 student. So I decided to go into medical technology because it's also an advantage because I'm very good at helping people. I love helping people. As I said, I grew up in a home filled with doctors and police. So literally every day of my life, I'm surrounded by people who help other people. And I think it's unfair that people have to suffer from diseases, you know, that are uncurable. And it's not fair. So I want to find a cure for these incurable diseases. It's about time that we find a cure. It's about time that we take people's lives seriously. It's not fair that a person has to grow up and then out of the blue and inherit a disease at that, has to just show up in a person's life and take them, losing a loved one over a disease which can be cured but not in an easy way is really heartbreaking. So the reason I want to go into medical technology is because I love helping people. I love discovering also the hidden facts behind science. And I am just curious, about the lab work. I love creating things. I've once been to lab, like just, the combining of the medicine and stuff. It's amazing, So yeah, trying different things and also for the young ones out there, I live front opposite to a school. So seeing those learners every day, you know, some of them are they are just young, ambitious, and they just want to go out there and see the world. I also want to be able to give them the platform, especially those who want to go into medicine. Once I finished my medical technology or my computer science, but then I can do them both. No one said I can't. So once I finish those things, I really want to be able to help people. Basically, my life is based on people. I just want to help people. So there's no better way than doing that by just being there for the people. And Sasol has changed my life. I don't want to lie. Sasol has really been there for me. I just realized it today because it's my first day being on the Techno X. I just realized it today that no, man, I've always been a part of Sasol in a I don't know, a really funny way because I'm also part of the Sasol Students High Flyers of 2022 in the Gauteng North. So we attend at Cultura High School. Our most loved director or manager, I don't know what I should call her, is Miss Monica. So Sasso has always played a part in my life and trying to shape me and also trying to help me be the person I am trying to be. And Techno X is really, really beneficial. So I feel that it is only right that everyone gets a chance with Techno X and everyone gets to see, the bigger picture of what Techno X is really trying to help people. Because for me, it really, really helps me. And the reason behind it is truly amazing. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, now Mercy definitely understands the definition of soapbox because she went all in telling us her passionate feelings about how she perceives herself, what is tough for her, where she thinks her strengths are, and what she wants to do in the future. We're definitely wishing you all the best in your journey. And please do keep sending us those videos for the soapbox because we do have two categories. One is your Techno X story, but you can also tell us about a green initiative that you want to undertake. With all of the green initiatives that we've heard of on stage, I'm sure that all of you have great ideas that you're already starting to think about. So remember, I did mention to you that I will be reflecting with you at some point, reading some of your comments, your questions, and engaging with them live on the stream. Well, that's what I'm doing right now. So if you still have things that you would like to share with the group, that you want to say to the whole of Mzansi who are live streaming with you, please make sure that you send those thoughts right now to the chat. I'm going to start with a question by someone called MOOA Tustin. And your question is, hi guys, anyone know where I can find the day 1, day 2, and day 3 video? Great question. How you do that essentially is you go on the menu button of the live stream. When you click that menu button, you'll see that there's video on demand. It literally comes after live stream. And on there is a compilation of all of the videos of the past few days, literally spread out beautifully as you would find them on Netflix, and you can just watch and enjoy on demand, share with your family and friends. And especially if you think there's something specifically useful for someone that you might know, maybe share that specific clip with them and let them know that something important was covered at Sasol Techno X. So there's that answer. I have another question here about when is the last day of sending videos. And this is from Lindiwe Mahlangu. Lindiwe, I'm assuming you're talking about the soapbox videos. And if that's what you're asking about, you still have one more day. By one more day, I mean the 24 hours between now and tomorrow at around about this time. So make sure that you record those videos and upload them to enter our soapbox competition. Let's see what else we have here. Well, Shaban is sending us some motivational stuff. She's saying, an action committed in danger is an action doomed in failure. Absolutely agree. If there's anything we've learned over the past few days, is that we have to act from a space of courage. Ludwig, literally yesterday when he spoke about entrepreneurship, told us that how he came up with Dry Bath was by confronting bravely a problem that he recognized in his community. We also heard this from Nokolo Fani and all of the wonderful ladies who were in the initial panel discussion about youth entrepreneurship, who all said it takes wanting to defy the odds. So when we are still feeling comfortable and afraid, we're never going to accomplish what we want to accomplish. So well done on that, Shaban. You're really helping to encourage all of our youth across the country. Let's see what else is up here. Well, a couple of people congratulating Mercy. I would completely agree there because Mercy, that 9 minutes was not for nothing. You really went in and shared so much about who you are and what your vision for your future is. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have someone who is saying that we had a great exhibition. This is Tumelo Makinane. Tumelo saying, great exhibition. I have a lot of Techno X design in mind. Now, especially in regards to improving the agricultural field. That is awesome. Remember, guys, that Techno X is here to inspire you to start thinking about the sciences, maths, technology, but not just that, arts and innovation. And once you feel those creative juices bubbling over, you don't have to feel that because there's no specific arena within Techno X to express those, that you shouldn't take them forward. There are so many agencies, so many organizations that over the past few days have been well represented. And that's exactly where you need to go to take some of your innovations. So if you're sitting with a brilliant idea and you think it's relevant to our speaker, Dr. Claire, who's told us about all of the steps that the Department of Rural Development is taking to protect our nature, then you need to find them and approach them and pitch your great idea to them. If you're thinking of something that you think would be completely relevant to our speaker earlier, Tembiso, who told us about animation and Tsimologong, then reach out to them and send your creative ideas to them. By the way, if you mentioned that you saw them at Sasol Techno X, that might be bonus points for you because, as you know, there's so many great ideas and yet so few resources to go around. So make sure that you maximize on the fact that you were here and you saw them here to get that access to the mentorship and the organization to take your ideas to the next level. Let's see what else we have here. Karabo is saying that she's a creative pioneer, and she is talking about the fact that many, many good ideas are coming out of this platform. Completely agree. Mamela Zivuya is talking about robotics. In fact, Mamela, I think if I remember correctly, you won the robotics competition yesterday. So well done to you for that. Mamela is saying, I love doing robotics. I have 2 robots that I've done, but I don't have mentors to guide me. Is it possible for Sasol to guide me or to have a robotics competition? Great question. And we have an answer from Mark that I would completely agree with. Mark has immediately responded to that and said, Lego does have South African robotics competitions. Do you want to make robots for entertainment or factory use, farm use, mall guide, or for the home, like mopping and sweeping and tidying up, or robots for manufacturing? So Mamela, I would advise you to please make sure you respond to that question by Mark so that if he's able to point you to the right direction, then you can get that help you need. But beyond the Lego competition, also look at Professor Hanekom, who came and spoke to us about the robotics competitions that she facilitates at the University of Pretoria. So again, think about all the speakers we've had, and if you don't remember all of them, again, click on the menu tab. Under live stream and videos on demand, you'll see speakers. And all of those speakers have wonderful profiles where you can read up on who they are, what they do, and of course, figure out who to plug yourself into to get that further boost for the work that you're doing. Then we have a lot of people participating in the shake game. Shout out to you guys. Hopefully one of you wins later on today. And we have Karabo again, who says, behavior science is so incorporated into advertising, studying consumer patterns and influencing emotion to persuade buy-in into a product. I would absolutely agree. In fact, advertising is basically a social science, right? Because if you're selling products to people, then you have to understand how they think and what they want. So it's not just about being creative, like all of our speakers have said. It's not just about drawing or loving the animation side or the technical side. It's about thinking about all of these fields and how you meaningfully bring all of them together to sell the product ultimately to the client. So if you feel like you have that strength when you're walking with your friends or when you're chilling with your family, you immediately know how people are feeling, you get the sense of what they're thinking or what they like, then it just might be for you, and you might be an asset to an organization like Joe Public. Who knows? Take it seriously and tell us in 10 years if you're that person who's now in creative agency giving us dope adverts to sell all the gorgeous products that exist in our world. So great insights, Karabo. Actually, before I move on from that point, because it is such a good point, I think we also heard that architecture is also a form of social science. And we heard from our speaker earlier that the social sciences play a huge part into how he thinks about design, because he's constantly doing the same thing they do in advertising. He's studying people, he's studying their resilience, he's studying how they cope, and he's incorporating that into the work that he does as a designer. So moving forward, actually, the STEAMI fields is becoming about psychology and about our way of life, and incorporating that into all of the technical fields that we do. I'm going to look at 2-3 more things, and from then we'll move on to our next speaker. So let me see what's coming up on here. I'm literally loading because you guys are sending so many more things for me to engage. Let me jump onto our questions. We have something here asking, how do we ensure school kids have access to the chicken licken lamps? Love this idea, especially for winter. I don't think you're alone in that question. I've definitely seen so many comments saying, fantastic idea by Chicken Licken. Well, how do we do that actually? I think the best way to go about it is, let's all actually go on the Chicken Licken websites, maybe under social impact or CSI, find the light bulb idea and make sure that we get an answer. It's going to be up to one of us to come back with the exact answer on how we get access to those. We're also going to try and reach out again to Kutala and make sure that if she has an answer for us, then we share it with you tomorrow. But if someone comes up with it before then, man, I think that might be great, because remember, we are an ecosystem ourselves, and hopefully there's as many answers coming from us as there are questions. There's also something about who are the key stakeholders to engage in order to enable social entrepreneurship. Interesting question. For example, this person says, if I'm recycling or enabling profitability for average citizens in an area who want to add value to their community, how do I do that? Very good. And you'll notice in Africa, it's not just about entrepreneurship, it's about social entrepreneurship. Simple answer. There are so many problems. And in solving those problems, we can begin to make an income. For that, I would say refer back to Ludwig Mareschane's presentation from yesterday, where he gave us the steps, and it's a scientific process, right? So very specific steps for how to build an enterprise out of solving a problem. He said, 1, interview people in your community. Is this a big problem for you? And he said, if they say it's a problem, then only ask them, would you pay for someone to solve the problem? And if they'd pay, he said, ask them, how much would you pay to solve the problem? And if you can provide the solution for cheaper than that, then you have a social enterprise. So again, go back to that presentation, make sure you're all schooled up. And if you feel you have what it takes to go that next step, take that next step and become South Africa's next social entrepreneur. And who knows, maybe in the next Techno X, you might be on stage telling us how you attended Sasol Techno X 2022, came up with a brilliant idea in farming, actually went out and started it, and are now a success story. South Africa is full of those stories. Now, speaking of such stories of resilience and success, a true story, right, of resilience. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, let's look at your stories of resilience before we go into the person that we want to bring up on stage. I've got a quotation here that says, Sasol Techno X affirms that you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Absolutely agree with you there. You might have seen that we had a range of speakers, from very young individuals to very old individuals who are at the far end of their career. But one thing that was in common with all of them is the passion for the work that they're doing. So ordinary people doing extraordinary work fuels you with all the passion that you need to continue doing excellent things. And then I have someone who's saying Ludwig has been a pioneer since 2017. Absolutely, Karabo. Ludwig, in fact, has been a pioneer before even then. I went to the University of Cape Town with him. I was a junior, probably 3-4 years his junior, and he was a rock star entrepreneur on campus that everyone wanted to be like. We literally all wanted to have our own startup because, let me tell you a story. I don't know if you mentioned it yesterday, but by the time he was in 3rd year, he and his business partners had started a tuck shop on campus, and they had made over R1 million in revenue. And we were all students, by the way. So Ludwig is definitely a rock star and one to watch. Please go back to that talk and school up on everything that you need to learn about entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. And then I have a couple of people mistaking Ludwig's name for Ludwig Beethoven. I'm really just going to laugh and scroll past that. But please, it's Ludwig Marischane, not a Ludwig with a G, a Ludwig with a CK. Okay. And then I've got another quote that we have here that's saying, where's my quote? It's missing. There we go. Wow, oh, Shaban, same quote that you put on the questions. I guess you really, really want us to take this seriously. Again, this fact of setting goals and dreaming new dreams. And you guys are young, actually. So I hope that as you're listening to this, maybe even the teachers who are listening to this or the parents listening to this, that you're also inspired to start thinking about how you incorporate all of these intelligencies and competencies that we have learned about into the work that we want to do. And then we have here a good point about enablement is the core function of Techno X. We are a breed of entrepreneurs who want to add value to their communities. I pursue passion projects and technology, and this has enabled me to accelerate my access. My community is my passion project. We need more people thinking this way because literally this has been the theme of what we have learned from every single speaker who's come on stage, is look at your context, what problems exist, and work from there to build local solutions to local problems that can then be scaled to create the impact that you're looking for on a country, but also one day on a global level. And then we have someone who says, Techno X is a great innovation as it allows students to know more about their careers. Yes, absolutely. It's an insightful platform that allows students to interact with different specialists from different companies, which helps staying in touch with managers of your choice and your career. Lindiwe, that's absolutely true, but more so today than any other day. Because remember, today we did a day in the life, and we still have one more for you, right? Where we took you into the different careers of people that you might be thinking about, right? As you're doing your physics and you're doing your chemistry, as you're doing your geology and your arts projects, you're thinking about the world of all of these careers, geoscience and electrical engineering and mechatronics, and all of these words are coming up. Like today, we heard about the word SHE, right? Safety, health, and environmental sciences. And so as we're thinking about all of these words, it's important for us to get a glimpse of what it's like to actually work in that field. So this exhibition is exactly about that. And I would encourage you, Lindiwe, to make sure that you keep going to the exhibitor stands, because that's where you can find more information about these careers from the organizations that actually create jobs within these fields. There's one last point about this same note that says the concept of Techno X needs to be taken to the length and breadth of South Africa. Every day so far was a takeaway learning nugget. Absolutely agree with you. Again, on that point, that's exactly why we decided to go virtual this year, right? Sasol Techno X used to either be held in Secunda or Sasolburg as a physical event. And it going virtual now has allowed many more people to join. I remember on day one, we had 302 schools live streaming in the morning. We had 1,632 individuals with a reach of over 30,000. That's a lot of people. I can't even guess how many will watch the videos on demand, how many are streaming on YouTube. And so that's the power of virtual and online, is it allows us to then take these amazing programs and take them to more South Africans. Dumelo says, this is like the lamp that can save many lives. Agreed. Okay, I see Maumela has responded to Mark. Awesome. Mark, please respond to him and let him know where to go with his ideas. And finally, the last point, opportunities don't happen, you create them. So we'll stop there for now. Thank you so much for all of your insights, and we'll see you in just a moment.